Well, it's a massive day for West Ham again, isn't it? We are taking the trip across London to Craven Cottage to take on a Fulham side that is probably the best time to play them, with their manager Silva not on the touchline, with their star striker Alexander Mitrovic in the second game of his 8-game ban. Probably one of the best times to play a Fulham side. But then again, we look at our form Wednesday night. A battering at the hands of Newcastle. This is a massive game, and we are under 15 minutes away from team news. It's a massive lineup announcement today. I'm joined by a couple of guests. Firstly, Luke from the Free Hammers. Luke, how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I don't enjoy watching West Ham at the minute, but it's nice to be back on this show. It's been a while. Yeah, nice to be here, mate.
No, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And Phil as well. We saw a breath of fresh air on Thursday night at London Stadium, but back down to reality today, and boy, do we need something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was a nice evening. You know, we had good fun, didn't we, Jake? Watching the under 18s. It was good. It was like you say, it was refreshing. Yeah, well, I think we don't really need to explain what happened against Newcastle, do we?
No.
So this is
not go over that again, please.
No, it's done. It's done. Now we move on to this game. What can I say? It's like, we know every game's a must-win game, but it seems like every time we have a good result, like we did against Southampton, it's like, yeah, that's the bit of breathing space, and then bam, a bad result against Newcastle. Right, that's it. Change everything now. We've got to change everything. Get rid of noise, and it's that situation again. You know, we do that thing. We're going to change a few players around, allegedly. So it's that proverbial kick up the backside, isn't it? So
yeah,
we'll see. It's hard to say.
Let's see. We've got the chat before carrying on. So yeah, we are very shortly gonna get team news through. So stay tuned here. We'll bring it to you as when we get to Come On You Irons. Indeed, Lawrence, hope you well. From Lexington, Kentucky, in the US of A. Miss Hammerette, thank you very much for joining us. Peter, hope you well, mate. Good afternoon, Jake, and everyone. This is a must-win. Looking at our remaining fixtures, I tweeted it out this morning. You know, we've got to get something today. If we look at our next 6 Premier League fixtures, we've got 4 of the big 6. In those 6 games, we need to get something today, Luke. And the difference is now we're hearing rumblings. Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian reporting yesterday that it's not a guarantee, but if we do lose today, it's the first time we've heard from a couple of journalists that Moyes might go.
It's such a hard one with the Moyes thing because I want him gone more than anything. But at this point, we can't afford to throw wins away. We have to just get behind the team now, and it's just, I don't know. I want him gone so bad. But that means West Ham will lose. And as you just said, mate, Man City coming up, Liverpool coming up, Arsenal coming up. We don't look like this season pulling up one of them worldy results. You know, usually West Ham pull 1 or 2 of them out a season. Would you fancy us to win any of them games? Not at all. Not at all. So we have to, Fulham, this has to win it. Have to win it today. Massive.
Yeah, and especially as well, Phil, as I mentioned at the top of the show, that they aren't in the best runs of form. I think they picked up 1 point in their last 4. They're without their star striker. I think they are gettable, but again, they are a very respectable side. So you've got to look at 2 sides of it.
Yeah, look, I've really enjoyed watching Fulham play this season. They played some really great football. They just carried on where they left off from when they were in the Championship last season. Under Marco Silva, they've had a bit of stability. It's the first time where they sort of kept a stable side rather than changing it heavily every single season, but they've done for the last 6-7 years now. You know, they've been up there for a reason, and it's been good to watch them play. Obviously, Mitrovic not playing, it helps because we know how much of a handful he is. I think, Marco Silva has not been on the touchline as well, so sometimes that has a bit of an effect. You know, I know we've had it when Moyes went on touchlines, and it was an even better effect for us a few years ago. So I don't know. That could be interesting. I don't know if it would be Lewis Bournemouth be taken in charge of the Fulham team or not, because I know he's one of their backroom staff. But important to be the better team here. Like you say, they've not been on the bestest runs of form, so we've got to look into that and take full advantage.
Yeah, and they have. Peter highlights here. They aren't a one-man team. They turned up to Man United and should have beat them on the night if it wasn't for that madness of the 15 minutes, which in the end knocked them out. But they're a very good side. I'm hearing, I've had confirmed 5 changes, and somebody just put on Twitter potentially a 3-4-3, but I'm not too sure. I haven't had that confirmed, so I'd hold fire on that one. But we are just 10 minutes away from receiving that lineup. But in terms of Fulham, Luke, they are a very good side, and they've proven this season they haven't just been up, near those Europe places for 10 games or so. They've been there for a huge proportion of the season, and that's down to how good they and how well they've played.
Yeah, I didn't actually realise how high up the table there was, to be honest with you. It was only when I was doing the research for the preview, I was like, oh, bloody hell, actually, they've had a really good season. I think Silva's quite an underrated manager. I think he's done some good things in the past, and he's sort of recaptured his career now after a little bit of a bad patch at the club he was at before. Albeit I bet Diop scores a brace against us today. Obviously, an ex-Hammer, always nervous when an ex-Hammer comes up against us. That Vinicius guy, didn't he used to play for Spurs? Guaranteed he'll score a goal today as well, because he ain't scored in probably 30 games or something. Willian, was finished. Looks all right again, even at 35, he's still doing really good things for him. They're okay, and that Paulinho's a top player. He really is a top player in that midfield.
He makes a difference in that midfield, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And I think as well, they've got a solid foundation for a very good side there. They've got some decent defenders. They got a solid midfield, and then when they got Mitrovic there, that speaks for itself. But they've got some other good, tricky and effective players there. Marco Silva is bonding together. We all expected at the start of the season for them to be pretty much where we are now, lurking and flirting with that sort of relegation zone, maybe going straight back down again. But they've solidified their sort of spot in the top 10 pretty much, and they were up to a couple of weeks ago, where they've hit a slight downturn in form. They've been on a good, European race to try and get that 6th or 7th spot. They've dropped down a couple of places since that 50 minutes of madness at Old Trafford, but they're still a very, very good side. And today from West Ham, and it all starts through in 8 minutes when we receive this lineup. A bit of positivity, I beg.
Oh, that's all we want, a bit of positivity. If he knows to make the right changes, because I think Kehrer, that's a shoo-in for him to be dropped, surely. Yeah, he definitely won't be playing. Souček, we've been saying it most of this season, really, that he's not the same player. He's just a passenger. He don't really serve any purpose at the moment, so he's got to be dropped as well. We'd like to, in an ideal world, we'd like to see Antonio and Ings partner up front, just so it's something different. As long as we're not too negative and just staying back the whole time, just go forward and get that confidence again. Yeah. That's all we want. And then it all depends. Like you say, 6 minutes, we'll find out what the lineups is, and you're going to see how our move's going to be then.
And do you think as well, Luke, it might be a sort of like Moyes has realised now, because he hinted it in his pre-match press conference in the embargoed section, that he wouldn't be too upset. Well, he would be upset, but he basically said something along the lines of that he could understand if we keep losing, that he received the sack from the board. Do you think this, he might now even be thinking this is Christ's last chance salute now, and he might just turn the switch on and go for it today, or is that a little bit too adventurous?
I hope you're right, mate. You're a lot more positive thinking than me, if that's your genuine thoughts.
It's not. Yeah, trust me, it's not.
Yeah, surely something in his head's got to be thinking, look, am I going to get another job like this? He might get firefighter jobs. He'll probably get jobs where he has to save teams, but I can't see him ever getting a good project like West Ham again, where he's given 200-300 million to spend over 2 windows. Use them players. We've got some bloody good footballers in there. Fornells, hopefully he is in the team today. Someone who can actually get on the ball and look for a pass. Souček has to be out the team today. Like Phil said, Kehrer has to be out today. No more loyalties. None of this, he's my mate. Oh, he's a lovely guy in the changing room. Or, as Roy Keane says, he does card tricks or whatever. No, I want the best team in the best form to go out there and win this game for us today. That's all I want. I don't care how we play. I just want the win. Just get the win.
There are some mixed responses coming through on Twitter from the lineup. We are hearing, I'll wait the 5 minutes to see it, but I'm hearing that a Gerd has been dropped.
Wow.
That's what somebody's just put on Twitter,
Wow.
and I've heard that Thomas Souček is starting as well. That's
Oh,
not
no.
confirmed.
No.
But that's just. I'll bring up my Twitter timeline because
I'm
I
not
think
watching
that's
it. I'm not watching the game. No.
honestly,
I'm not going to watch it.
this epitomizes West Ham at the moment, right? This is the 2 tweets where I just flick my tab over to Twitter, right? Where is it? There it is. Right. Thomas Souček started. He drops a word but keeps Fab in goal. Oh dear. Oh dear.
He dies on his sword. He dies on his sword today. If Souček is starting and we lose this game, he's died on his sword. Basically, that's all I can say.
Somebody's just he's dropped Paqueta as well.
Yeah, I think Souček is in. Yeah, Mum. Paul from the channel's just text.
Yeah,
Souček with laughing face.
4-4-2 people are predicting. Well, this is really starting to cause a storm from what we've heard so far, Phil. Oh,
Cresswell as well.
No. Cresswell's not starting, is he? No.
God.
You're having a laugh.
No, I'm done.
No, Cresswell cannot start. You're having a laugh.
What's today's date? It's the 8th today, isn't it? So we're 8 days too late from April Fool's Day, surely.
I cannot believe that.
I'd
Honestly, I do not even want to look at this graphic when it comes up. I am gonna. Souček's in the team, but Paqueta isn't. What is he doing?
No, Paqueta's in.
Oh, he is in, is he?
Paqueta's in, yeah. Paqueta's in.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Phil, from what we've heard,
I think he's just writing his own death wish here, isn't he?
Oh no, Paqueta's not in.
He's not in. No, I don't think he was.
No.
Until we see this graphic come up, then
yeah,
I think he's just wanting the sack now.
Yeah, this is an insult, team. It really is insult.
This is absolutely embarrassing. We're going to break it down, and I'm going to let it go in a minute. So so just wait 3 minutes, and then when I see this flipping, honestly, from the graphics we've seen from West Ham today, with them flipping boats on the Thames, right? And if I see a lineup that is as we're thinking, I'm going to have a blimmin' meltdown in a minute. What are we doing, honestly? Right, 2 minutes until that lineup, and we'll get the Fulham lineup as and when we get it as well. Let's take some of your comments as we await the official confirmation. I'm going to scroll up. The Moisaurus' last stand. 5 changes. Moyes is not one of them. If we win today, I reckon strongly, and he'll get yet another stay of execution. Mubamba should be on the bench at least. There's no under 80s or 21 games for about 10 days. He should be in there 100%. Everton on top in their game. We need United to hold on there. Did Mubamba play yesterday? What are we on today? Saturday. He played. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was Thursday, wasn't it? Yeah. So. Could he be involved? Hope so. Peter says if we come out slowly and go a goal behind, heaven help us. Exactly. I don't see the determination if we get a goal down to get back into the game. We did half-heartedly on Wednesday night, and to be fair, we did play reasonably well for about 20 minutes during that section. But then, obviously, the mistakes completely undid us in the end. But I just can't see us doing that. Soufal needed a right back. He has to be there. I cannot watch Kara there again. Trenny says Manu should be up by 6 or 7. Just missed another chance. Tom says problem with Moyes is that he can't handle big players. He uses threats in his management style, and that just doesn't wash with the big name players. We win games not because of him, but despite of him. Moyes does card tricks, but never knows when to fold. Not slow check. I think that's right. Oh dear, I can't believe what I'm seeing here. United 2-0, get in. So that's that game done. Everton not picking up any points this weekend. Same old Moyes, it certainly is. Might do some gardening instead. Trini says if those selections are true, Moyes is a total tool, dropping a gird. And Patman, if that's true, he should get sacked. He's taking the P. Right then, it's 1:59 on my screen. I'm going to reluctantly load up the West Ham Twitter page and say it to you right off the bat. Come on, West Ham. I haven't got much patience today. It's 2 o'clock. I haven't got much patience. I'll keep refreshing Twitter. Oh, admin's going to get the sack today. Come on. Still not got it. This isn't good enough.
This isn't good enough.
Come on. No. It's gonna stop letting me refresh in a minute on Twitter.
I'm gonna go in the Premier League app and see if their lineups come up there.
So just while we wait to that, drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Official if you haven't already. Channel sponsors are SRM, Carver and Son right here on West Ham Official. What is going on here?
Oh, the lineups are out.
Why can't I see it? What's going
I've
on
got
here?
it. Do you
Go on,
want me to
Phil,
read it
fire
out?
away.
Right, in goal, Fabianski.
Yeah.
Sufel right back. Zuma and Ogbonna centre
What are we
back.
doing?
Left back, Aaron Creswell.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Midfield, Pablo Fornals, Jared Bowen, Declan Rice, Thomas Souček. However, up front, Mikel Antonio and Danny Ings.
He started 2 of them. Oh, I'll take that.
Wow.
Yes, boys.
Yes.
Wow.
Subs, Lanzini, Downs, Areola, Cornet, Benrahma, Johnson, Kehrer, Agard, Emerson. So, yeah. There you go.
I tell you what, that's a mixed bag. I've got it now. I'm just going to lob it back. I'm going to lob it up onto the screen for us all to have a little look at. But I mean, just sort of dissecting it a couple of seconds, and it'll be on the screen for us. Actually, I can just load it up there, can't I? It's a mixed bag. That I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Right, I'm going to test the new graphics here, and I'm going to go like that instead. Oh, there we go. Look at that. And if I zoom in, that is our lineup then. Fabianski, Sufel, Ogbonna, Zuma, Creswell, Fornals, Rice, Souček, Bowen, Antonio Ings. Right, let's dissect it. So Fabianski in goal, whatever. Sufel, okay, good. Ogbonna, why is he in over Agard? Unless there's some sort of injury. Is Agard on the bench?
He is, yeah.
He's on the bench. Why? What? I don't understand it. How's... Right. If the logic is he made a mistake, so I've dropped him, Fabianski shouldn't be there.
That's right. Logic.
Souček's done about 9 passes every game for about 3 months. What I don't understand it. And Creswell and is Emerson's on the Emerson's on the bench. I don't know what
who's been playing well. I think Emerson's been playing quite well.
He has.
Oh, I do. Agreed.
Yeah.
He has.
He's trying to butter us up by putting Antonio and Ings up front together, but it doesn't really excuse the other players coming in.
What has Flynn Downs got to do to get in this side? I mean, I'm
No
sorry,
idea.
right? Paqueta's not in the squad, so I'd assume an injury or something there. But what has Downs got to do to get in this side over Souček?
No idea. I mean, I don't know what to say.
Speechless.
I don't know what to say.
Cresswell. What all that screams in sarcasm, pace. None.
Yeah.
Absolutely none.
No pace at all.
It's awful. Awful. Honestly. I just don't. I like that Pablo's back. I love Pablo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe 2 up front might see something, but Cresswell.
I can't look past Creswell and
That whole left-hand side. I love Oggy as well. I love Oggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him, but
Cresswell and Oggy together, slow.
Yeah. I think, Antonio and Ings, that's our only saving grace. So if we can get the ball forward and make sure they two link up together, that's our only hope and only possibility. Other than that.
Yeah. Right then, let's have a quick look at I think this is going to work. Oh, that was jazzy. Over to the Fulham lineup then. Leno, Cedric, crikey, Tossin, Ream, Robinson, right, this is where it starts. Paulinia, he's been a brilliant player this season. Reed, Andreas, I think is that Andreas Pereira, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Deckel Dover, Reed, he's a good player. Vinicius and Willian, Vinicius, pace. This whole lineup, and you know, the difference I see in these lineups, and when you switch back over to the West Ham one, is that they've got a bit of pace there, and our pace is non-existent. Luke, when you look at it, Ogbonna no pace, Zuma no pace, Creswell no pace, Fornals no pace, Souček no pace, Bowen no pace, Ings no pace. We are a paceless football team.
It is, and we try to play on the counter-attack.
Exactly.
And the whole thing of a counter-attack is having frightening pace to be able to ping the ball to, and we haven't got that player. Antonio's lost 2 yards of pace in that time as well, and doesn't really turn a man like he used to. Souček's going to turn over the ball about 15 times in a game, so we'll be on the back foot again. It's probably him looking for a set-piece goal, and that's why he's brought Cresswell back in, thinking Cresswell can put some decent corners in maybe in the game. Apart from that, I'm not confident.
I just can't understand it. I really can't. Phil, just to sort of finish off, yeah. And I think you said he's trying to like sweeten us all up a bit by putting Antonio and Ings like together, which are back, and I think that's good. And I think it's good that he's dropped Benrahma as well, because Benrahma's been pretty poor for a few games. Now I would have started Cornet. Is he on the bench?
He is, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got Areola, Agurd, Benrahma, Cornet, Downs, Johnson, Kerr, Lanzini, Emerson. So attacking options, you could probably bring on Emerson, Lanzini, Cornet, Benrahma as some attacking options there. But I just cannot look past Creswell starting and Souček starting yet again, and Agurd not starting.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to say. I think the moment Souček misplaces a ball in this game, it won't take long. That's it. No. Forget it.
Exactly. Exactly. And we all know what's going to happen. And he's been hung out to dry by boys every single week, right? And it's just incredibly, excruciating to sit here and constantly see him just be a complete passenger. Luke, it's just I don't know.
I don't hate West Ham players, because that's not right. But I'm getting to the point where it's like when Kevin Nolan was getting hung out to dry towards the end of his career at West Ham. Just
a few people have said that.
Yeah, it's just becoming, it's ridiculous. What has this guy got? What has this guy got on David Moyes? Honestly, I can't. He's awful. When I watch him, it's like me playing football. Like upright, can't pass the ball. When I get the ball, I want to get rid of it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, honestly, I've seen better players in Sunday League with the ball at their feet than him. Honest God.
Before we take some of the comments and move on more to the Fulham lineup, I just got a few stats for you. So somebody put this on Twitter a couple of days ago, I screenshotted it, bookmarked it, and I've looked at it. So versus Brighton, Thomas Souček played 75 minutes. 22 passes, 0 tackles, 1. In his 90 minutes against Aston Villa, 9 passes, 1 tackle, 1. In his 68 minutes versus Southampton, 11 passes, 1 tackle, 1. In his 63 minutes versus Newcastle, 8 passes, 0 tackles, 1. He brings nothing.
Nothing.
And Moyes persists on starting him week in, week out, when we've got a perfectly good defensive midfielder in Flynn Down sat on the bench every single week, Phil.
I mean, I hope Souček's better next season and make this a write-off. But, yeah, he literally serves no purpose in this squad whatsoever. Those stats, they don't make themselves up. That is it. He's not done it. So, just rest him. He might find his form again at some point, but right now, if he's just being a passenger, he's not doing anything. What is the point of him being on the pitch?
Exactly.
Bring him on for 10 minutes.
It's absolutely baffling to me. Let's see who else we have got in the chat. Paqueta injured, really, I don't believe it. Well, he's not in the squad, so that's the only thing I could sort of, take out of it. If he was on the bench, then it'd be different. But yeah, it is what it is. Ings or Antonio out on the left. I think it might be a 4-4-2. I think we might try. I think Bowen's going to be incorporated into that midfield, sort of the back line 4, and then a sort of right mid, left mid, the 2 in the middle, and then I think he might go for a sort of narrow 2 up top.
Yeah, I could see that, but then again, no, he'll probably put Ings out wide.
Yeah, he probably would.
Yeah, or he'll play the 3-man in midfield with Fornals in the number 10, Bowen on the right, Ings or Antonio on the left, and the other one in the middle. Maybe. That wouldn't surprise me either. Yeah. I don't know.
Or in other words, it'd be
so
10 minutes behind the ball.
But to be fair, if Ings was starting up front on his own, I was ready to pull this up. So, he's not started Ings up top on his own. So at least that's a positive. That's the only one I'm going to take out of it. But Emerson should have started 100%. There's no pace in that side. What's Emerson done? If Souček can start 3 games in 6 days, flipping Emerson can.
Yeah, I don't know. Been playing well. I know he got booked on against Newcastle. I don't know how many yellow cards he's had this season, so I don't know if it might have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but it's weird though. Trini says that lineup means Fornals will be covering Creswell out wide. It's back to the sort of
good
old couple
shout.
of years ago. Fornals and Creswell duo out on that left hand side. West Ham may cause headaches. We have pace, but it's snail's pace. Vinicius can't run. Old school target man, says Sean. Anton, hope you are well, mate. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Look at their side. 5 quick players. The complete opposite to what we've got there, is it? And again, Lanzini. What is it with Lanzini not getting a game over Souček? Anton says, I'm happy with 4-4-2. Disappointed that Souček starts and no Agurd. Fulham dropped that bloke who has scored goals. Don't mean Mitrovic. Obviously, we'll have a little look. But first, we will just go over our substitutes. A couple of people have asked them. So there they are. A few attacking options to attempt to bring off of the bench there. But we will go on and have a little dissect of the... Oh, I've just pressed the wrong button. And we'll have a little look at the Fulham lineup. I'm not a genius. There we go. Entire screen. Fulham. There we go. Okie dokie. We are live, and here we go. Right, so we went through a little bit earlier on, but those key players there: Andreas, Decordova, Reed, Vinicius, Willian. Some dangerous players there. Luke.
Yeah, like your dad said in the chat, mate. Loads and loads of pace. It's frightening. One good thing is I don't see Diop because I said he would score against us. There's no Diop there starting.
He's on the bench, Diop.
He might come on and score against us then.
Yeah, last minute header, and he's going to go to Moyes.
Yeah, I do quite like the left back. I think he's a left back. Robinson, is he left? Yeah, he's left. And he's not right yet. I quite like him. He's quite pacey. Like I say, it's just pace, and they keep the ball well, which is better than any West Ham team has done. Even bloody that team the other day in Europe, they passed the ball better than we did. So. If you can pass the ball well, you've got a chance of beating West Ham at the minute, which is sad.
Exactly. Lawrence, thank you very much indeed for the $10 super sticker. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for that. Let's have a look here. Mandy says, Bowen and Fornals will cover the fullbacks, Bowen, especially Bowen on Creswell. Where does that leave the two up top? Well, hopefully it's going to leave them playing off each other. And if we are going to hoof it up there, then at least Antonio may be able to play it on, and if things is going to play off Antonio, maybe that's the sort of way that Moyes is trying to think about it. Fornals left, Bowen right, I think so. Yeah. Souček with a bullet header from a corner, says usual suspect. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Solomon is the bloke who scores, so they've left him out. And Vinicius, target man of Willian, Decordova, Reed, Andreas, Paulinia just behind in the midfield with Reed there as well. So still got some very good players. Everton losing 2-0 still, which is good for us. But overall, with those lineups then, and I will put this back on and we will move up here, is just frustrating. It's maybe a little bit more nervous. I can't lie. Luke, I'll start with you.
I'm just deflated. I honestly believe when before we went live, we was talking that maybe 5 changes. You straight away go, Souček's got to be the one to win them. And the fact that he's still playing, it's so annoying, mate. It's so annoying. I can't get excited. I cannot get excited about that team, apart from the 2 up front, maybe. But someone's got to get the ball to them. And Souček's, like I say, going to give it away about 3 or 4 times in the midfield. I don't know, mate. Honestly, it's very hard to say anything positive.
Yeah, and it is very good, Lawrence. Thanks for joining us, mate. Greatly appreciated, and everybody else in there as well. And it's just seeing a couple of the changes I can understand, like the 2 up top I think is better, but as we keep saying, keeping Souček in there, not keeping Agurd in there. Not keeping Emerson in there, and with the players we've got to come in, it's just stripped any pace we had right back out, and I struggle to see how the sort of attacking threat of Fornals and Bowen is going to link up with the 2 strikers up there, Phil.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think I just covered the same ground. Really, there's no pace in there. Why are we leaving the fast players out? I know, obviously, Fornals he's quite industrious, so that's always a positive. Bowen's not the quickest, but he can still get on the ball, all right. But Emerson, why is he not playing? Well, you got Cornet. He should warrant a start now. He's been back in the first team for a good few weeks, or maybe a month. So no reason why he can't be starting. And then you've got guaranteed pace there. So it is just literally is hoping and relying on Ings and Antonio playing well together, providing one of them don't get injured after 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, exactly. We have had a good moan, but seeing those two up with each other could be a positive to take out of it today, Luke.
Yeah, obviously, they both need someone to play off, and finally, we hope we're going to see it. It wouldn't surprise me now if Antonio's on the right, Ings in the middle, Bowen on the left, or something like that, and he tries something completely different and throws us all. But if we do see them two up front, it gives Fulham something different. For all week, Fulham may have been training to set up against one up front. Now they've got to maybe play with two, and it's just slightly makes their brain think of something different. Silva's got to think of something different. And have Ben Rama to come on. That's always good. Cornet to come on. If I'm looking for positives now, I'm trying to be a bit more positive.
Yeah, exactly. We've heard that Axel just put on Twitter that Paqueta did pick up an injury in the Newcastle game, which is just another flipping nightmare from that game. But it is what it is. So that sort of understands that sense of his train of thought, but not the player he brought in, and keeping Souček there. Frustrating, but we'll see a different West Ham today. We'll see how we adapt and how we play in a different manner. And you never know, they might surprise us and we might win. You never know. Stranger things have happened.
Hope so.
Not much stranger. Not much stranger, but stranger things have happened. Johnson could have started left back. There's so many alterations that we could have made here, sat here and picked out. But at the end of the day, we've now got to get on with it, and we've got to trust that Moyes has got some sort of plan that can hopefully get us something out of the game. Peter says this game will tell us if the players do care about the club one way or the other. I agree. I have more pace than Cresswell. Well, I was pushing it a bit, but no, we all probably do. That's the nervy thing about it. But let's move on to some final thoughts and predictions then. Luke, prediction?
2-1 loss. I think we'll score because of that two up front. I think we'll get some sort of chance. But I can't predict West Ham to win at the minute. I just can't. There's just no belief. If we go 1-0 down as well, we just totally go. Our heads completely go.
Oh.
If we score first,
our sort of plan A that isn't really there, it goes out the window if we go 1-0 down.
And he hasn't got a plan B.
No,
he hasn't
got plan A to start with.
His plan B is don't concede another, rather than trying to win the game. 2-1 loss for me, mate. Sadly,
Phil.
No, I was going to say 2-1 loss as well. So I don't know. I still think we lose, but I'm going to go for a 3-2 loss instead. So I think like you say, we've got two strikers up front now that could do a bit of damage, but we'll still concede some couple more goals now. I just see it. Diop will come off the bench, get one in.
Yeah,
for sure.
When I sort of heard that Cresswell was starting and Paqueta wasn't there and Gerd wasn't starting, I was like, I think we'll lose this 1-0. Seeing now that we've got two up front, I'm going to optimistically go for a 1-1 draw. I don't know how we're going to get it, but I'm going to try and be a little bit more optimistic. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we lose. But I think it is as well almost a little bit difficult to predict because you don't know what Fulham side are going to turn up at the moment. Or maybe got a flipping clue what West Ham side are going to turn up. So it's definitely going to make interesting viewing one way or another. 2-0. Fulham says Peter. Tom says I've got more pace than Cressy and I'm in a wheelchair. Oh dear, it's just frustrating, isn't it? 1-1 would be a dream. I'll tell you what, I'd snatch a point off of you right now.
Yeah, because that would mean Moyes hopefully get sacked as well.
I tell you what, if we got a point and he got sacked, I think most people would take that.
Yeah, and if the results went our way, which the first one seems to have gone our way today, maybe a point wouldn't be a disaster if the other ones went our way as well today.
Yeah. Phil, I was sort of looking at the fixtures earlier and thinking, right, we need Man United to beat Everton, which it looks like they've done. There's a massive game up in the Midlands today as well, Leicester versus Bournemouth. That's sort of season defining as well. Another one of those 6-pointers. And if we don't pick something up today, we then go into some very difficult games. Arsenal next weekend, I think we just need to write off. There's no chance of that at all. And then I think we've got, was it Palace or Bournemouth, and then the other one of those games, and then another couple of difficult fixtures. this is massive today, and we need to get a point at least.
Yeah, if we don't get anything from this, then that's it. There's no point even saying what's going to happen then, because we can see we're not going to get any points. Maybe not until when we got Leeds and Leicester towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I think Leicester, they've got their manager sorted out now, I believe. Didn't read it properly, but I think Jesse March is going there.
Was he?
So I think so. I heard of that anyway. So, they could be revitalised for that last little push for the season.
That new manager bounce might keep him up.
Yeah. So it's hard to say, really. But if we don't get anything from this, I said this again for the before we played Southampton last week. If we don't get anything, then forget it. And I'll stick by that now.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark says steady on Jake, far too optimistic. I don't know, I'm predicting a loss, and those two sort of took the two losses that I would have sort of went for. So I'm gonna put my neck on the line and go for a 1-1. Villa versus Forest as well.
Zuma and a Gerd got a great record together though. Zuma and a Bonner. Haven't they got some fantastic record together whenever they've played together?
They were a star.
I think they've got a great record when they've played together. That's it. I'm thinking of positives.
Try and think of something to cling on to.
That felt like a lifetime ago. It was only last season.
Yeah. 3-0 Irons. Well, hey, joke of the day. Rumour Warburton is in to give us a slice of luck. Full time 2-0 at Old Trafford. Can't see Chelsea helping us at Wolves. Yeah, I said that earlier as well. When you Villa to do us a favour against Nottingham Forest, there's some massive games here today as well. So yeah, we'll be back on the full time whistle when it's either going to be steam coming out of my ears, or hopefully I'll have a beaming smile on my face. But until then, enjoy the rest of your Easter Saturday weekend, and we'll see you on the final whistle. Luke, Phil, thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Cheers, mate.
Jake.
Come on, you irons.
From us, come on, you irons. We'll see you later on. Please, West Ham, do yourself a favour. Please, we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.